¿Qué es la que hay, mi gente? Buenas tardes, espero que estén muy bien. Estamos acá con este live reaction inventado. Inventado. En el día de hoy, tarde de hoy, bueno, ahora mismo es las 6:30, 6:22 para ser más exacto. En la tarde noche de hoy se va a estar presentando, se va a estar haciendo el debut oficial de lo que es la colección de Spider-Man, de Marvel Spider-Man, en colaboración con Magic the Gathering. Se va a presentar un panel desde PAX West, que lo tenemos aquí. Entiendo que todavía no está ready. No, ok, lo tenemos ahí. Estamos pendientes. Pero hoy se va a presentar el panel llamado A Not So Friendly Neighborhood Debut. Esta colección de Spider-Man, yo estoy bien pompeado con ella y en verdad que yo soy bastante nuevo en esto de Magic, como ustedes ya saben, he dicho esto ya un par de veces. Y empecé con la colección de Final Fantasy, básicamente lo que he jugado es Final Fantasy y ahora Age of Eternities. Y esta va a ser mi tercera colección, por decirlo así. Y yo lo más que juego es arena, pero también compro las cartas, ¿verdad? Y lo que más me tiene pompeado a mí de esta colección de Spider-Man es que en el weekend que sale, yo voy a estar en Magic con Atlanta, que eso va a ser el último weekend de septiembre. Y la que yo estoy bien emocionado del weekend antes, entiendo que es el weekend de septiembre 20, ¿no, chicas? Son los pre-release, que yo siempre voy a Titan Games, donde grabamos, ¿verdad? Pues los episodios de Quién va. Sí, yo voy a estar del 26 al 28 en Magic con Atlanta, y los pre-release de Spider-Man van a ser en Titan Games el 19 y 20 de septiembre. Eso pues ellos allá también pues compartirán la voz y toda la cosa. Nada, mi nombre es Luis Ángel, si no lo haya dicho, acá pueden conocer como el Watcher. Yo iba a ver este panel y dije, pues si lo vamos a ver, pues vamos a hacer un live reaction. O sea, vamos a reaccionar a él y estoy aquí pendiente básicamente de todo a la misma vez. Pero que bueno, por ahora entiendo que está corriendo súper bien lo que el stream. So, en cuanto a lo que son estos debut videos, según lo que veo acá, esto va a durar 1 hora, este panel. Vamos a tener como que un first look a alguna de las cartas, aunque la mayoría de estas cartas ya las han presentado, ¿verdad? Ya se han visto en distintos posts. Hoy empezaron a salir como que spoilers y muchos creadores de contenido de Magic. A ellos le dan como que, pues tú vas a presentar esta carta y tú vas a presentar esta carta. Nosotros, pues obviamente no nada de eso, pero pues, oye, yo creo que Conan está ahora mismo en PAX West, no sé. Si Conan está en PAX West, esperamos que te vaya súper bien por allá, mano. Y bueno, antes que empiece el panel, salud, mi gente. Salud, porque es viernes. Viene de weekend largo, así que hay que dársela. En verdad que yo estoy bien emocionado de esto. Supuestamente van a haber un par de sorpresas en el panel. Again, esto es live en PAX West. En verdad que no sé, estoy viendo ahí el chat y hay gente como que bien pompeada con esto. A la misma vez, hay que ser bien sincero. Hay personas que no están. Oh. ¡Qué susto! Ok, ya salió. Hombre. No acá. ¡Qué susto me dio esto! Ok, Corea, estamos a menos de 6 minutos. Esto de seguro lo van a tumbar por la música o lo que sea. Pero nada, yo estoy como que pompeado con todo esto. Déjame hacer una pequeña prueba de sonido para que se escucha bien en el stream. Ok, estamos bien. Maybe bajarlo un poquito. a música. Y ahora de momento eso, ¡boom! El sonido. Bueno, estamos a 5 minutos. Ya bien, yo estoy bien pompeado con esto. Lo que estaba diciendo, esto de Universe Beyond, como que no mucha gente le ha gustado, ¿verdad? Estas colaboraciones de Magic con estos IPs, como lo que es Final Fantasy, ahora Spider-Man. Este de Spider-Man es el primero de muchos que ellos quieren ya encontrar cosas con Marvel. Y en este se va a ver el primer Infinity Stone, el Soul Stone, va a salir en esta colaboración, ¿verdad? En este set de Spider-Man hay unas cartas bien especiales que se están viendo. Y como que hay gente que no le está gustando esto, porque como que se puede decir que se está como que Fortniteizando Magic, como que con Spider-Man, Final Fantasy. Antes hubieron colecciones que sí, de Fallout, entiendo. Hubo una de Assassin's Creed. Que hay gente como que no le ha encantado todo esto. Pero a mí me gusta. Yo empecé con Final Fantasy. En verdad que, pues, si no les gusta, pues es lo que es, ¿verdad? Como dicen por ahí. Es lo que, si quieren ver la presentación, voy a poner el enlace. Lo voy a poner acá. No. Pues. Para que lo tengan. Y por si acaso, en lo que ya sube esto, esta semana ya grabamos el episodio de Cultura el miércoles, que hablamos sobre un par de cosas, incluyendo lo que es el primer episodio de Peacemaker. Yo estaba viendo el segundo episodio casi ahora de Peacemaker cuando dije, coño, vamos a hacer un live stream, vamos a reaccionar en vivo el panel. Y yo, pues, dale, puse mi camisa, obviamente, del mejor Spider-Man, el Spider-Man de Greg Miller. Y vamos allá. Estaría cabrón. Estaría brutal que ellos tiren el Spider-Man, una carta con el Spider-Man de Greg Miller. No sé, yo pienso que estaría super cool. Pienso yo, acá tirando a lo loco de la baqueta. Mucha gente no está muy pompeada con esto, porque los otros sets que habían salido, según tengo entendido, me pueden corregir en los comments, no eran legales como para jugar estándar. Yo entiendo que Final Fantasy fue el primero que fue legal. Yo no sé si cuando salió el Lord of the Rings fue legal o de Doctor Who. Aquí me pueden corregir en los comments. Pero ahora sale Spider-Man en septiembre y sale Avatar, The Last Airbender, en noviembre, que la única razón por la que estoy viendo Avatar es porque me voy a comprar el set de las cartas de Avatar y pues quiero saber qué es lo que estoy comprando, ¿verdad? ¿Qué es lo que estoy jugando? Básicamente por eso es, ¿verdad? Que estoy acá. Estamos a 1 minuto y medio para comenzar. Vamos a chequear que tengamos todo esto ready. Y voy a aprovechar, Corilla. Escuchen, lean Dungeon Crawler Carl. Yo estoy ahora mismo en el tercer libro. Me encanta. Conan llevaba tiempo diciéndome que leyera estos libros o los escuchara hace tiempo. Eddie también, de Societa Games. Estoy ahora mismo en The Dungeons Anarchy's Cookbook. Creo que se llama el tercer libro. Estoy en el último capítulo. O sea, en verdad que por primera vez entiendo que voy a meterle chavos a mi Audible para poder comprar el cuarto libro. Y también me quiero comprar porque sale en septiembre el libro nuevo de Slow Horses también. Entonces el año que viene, entiendo que en verano, sale también un libro nuevo de Dungeon Crawler Call. Que es verdad que estoy bien pompeado con esto. Nada, ya aquí faltan casi 30 segundos para comenzar el panel. De mi partida estoy bien emocionado con esto, estoy bien pompeado. Ya yo hice un pre-order del Booster Box. Y cuando vaya a Magic con Atlanta, ya tienen unos eventos que voy a poder conseguir paquetes de collector Booster Cards, ¿verdad? Como se llaman, Collector Boosters, whatever. ¿verdad? De unos eventos que voy a estar. Y me encantaría conseguir los bundles, aunque por ahora no he visto en ningún lado que se puedan poner en pre-order. Ojalá mi plan es, cuando esté allá en Magic, poder conseguirlo. Pero vamos allá. Vamos a ver qué.
Welcome, PAX West.
Uf.
Oh, what a fantastic crowd already. I am so excited. I am bursting with excitement to be here today, hosting the debut panel for Magic the Gathering's next set, Marvel Spider-Man. Let's hear, who here in the audience is a Spider-Man fan? All right, I want to get a sense of the mix here. Who here is a Magic the Gathering fan? There we go. And who likes both? Well, that's me too. I'm your host, Blake Rasmussen, and this is a dream for me because my first love when I was 13 was Magic the Gathering. But my second love, not too long after that, was comic books. I was working in a bookstore and I discovered comic books. I could read an entire one during my break and then move on and come back and pick up the next issue the next time it came around. But what really cemented me as a comic book fan was Spider-Man. To be more specific, Ultimate Spider-Man. Bendis' run, yep. So the original Ultimate Universe, I got hooked when, like 20 plus year spoiler alert, when they actually killed Ultimate Peter Parker and brought on Miles Morales. Yep, Miles Morales, still one of my favorite comic book moments of all times is when he saved the multiverse with a hamburger to the Molecule Man. Just absolute peak. But now that I'm a little older and a dad, I have cosplayed as Peter Parker. I am currently reading the new run of Ultimate Spider-Man. Issue 20 just came out this week. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Fantastic rendition. But that really is the magic of Spider-Man. Everyone here can see themselves somewhere in the Spider-Verse. And so we at Wizards of the Coast, we really hope that we have done that magic justice.
Ojalá.
And so today, we're going to show you a bit from
Hay gente diciendo que ha sido un
about mechanics. We're going to show you some heroes. We're going to show you a lot of villains. This show's villain heavy. If you love the foes of Spider-Man, we have a lot of them. We're going to show you art. We're going to show you like really cool characteristics of Spider-Man's New York, all of that stuff. And we hope we do it justice. But to do that, I have some friends of mine from Wizards of the Coast who are going to come out here. Now, if you've seen us do a panel before, we're going to do it a little bit different. Normally, we bring everyone out here and everybody kind of talks through their thing. But we're going to be coming and going. People are going to come on. They're going to go off. Some will even come back on. But we're going to talk through all of the amazing highlights of this set as we kick off preview season. So, to do that, let's start with someone pretty familiar to all of you Magic fans out here. Let's bring out head designer Mark Rosewater.
Hay bastante en Atlanta.
All right, welcome, Mark. Have a seat. Oh, all right. Well, Mark, just already know you, but why don't you give us a little introduction and also tell us a little bit, you know, I give my Spider-Man story. I kind of want to hear yours.
Sure. Okay. Well, this October is my 30th anniversary at Wizards of the Coast, working on Magic.
30 años.
And since 2003, I've been head designer, but that's Magic. Let's talk Spider-Man. So when I was a little kid, I remember I woke up one day, my dad had bought comics from the local store, and he just left them for me to find when he woke up. One of those was a Spider-Man comic. And it started a lifelong love of comics. In fact, when we began doing Universes Beyond, the thing I was most excited about is one day, maybe we would do Marvel. And so the fact that we got to make Marvel Magic has been so exciting.
All right, so beside your boyhood dream, what is it about comic books and Spider-Man that makes it such a good fit for Magic?
So one of the things when we're making a Magic card, we want to make a card that really speaks out and does something and is dramatic and has some really cool effect. Well, Marvel's full of superheroes that have amazing powers and are literally drawn to look as cool as they could look. Like, you know, comics are a visual medium. So like, it was like tailor-made to make cool Magic cards. And you guys are going to see today, like the cards really, like you see the character, like, oh, I know what I'm doing. The cards kind of speak for themselves because the characters are so three-dimensional, have such cool ideas, and then they just make really fun Magic cards.
So let's jump into letting the characters speak for themselves. Mark, where do you want to go first? What character do you want to see first?
Okay, so at San Diego Comic-Con, we showed off the double-face cards. We, for the first time ever, had cards that were both modal and they transformed.
Que se convierte la
And we
persona al
showed off
héroe.
Peter Parker and Spider-Man and Miles and Gwen, but we didn't show off any villains.
Oh.
So our first card up today is a reporter, I believe, from the Daily Bugle,
Eddie Brock.
who has a beef with Peter Parker.
Oh,
Let's take a look at Eddie
shit.
Brock.
Obviamente va a
All
ser
right, tell us a
negro.
little bit about Eddie Brock here, Mark.
So Eddie Brock, he was not a fan of Peter Parker. A little bit, things didn't quite go his way, and he was kind of really mad at Peter. And it turns out that there's this symbiote from across the galaxy that had a beef with Spider-Man. And the two came together because they learned they had a shared enemy among them. And they obviously became Venom.
Venom. All right, so we see here the front side, Eddie Brock. Let's take a look at Venom Lethal Protector.
Oh, shit.
Mark, tell us about this card.
So one of the fun things, and like I said, in doing cards is we get to sort of capture this. And Venom is just such a fun, lovable character. We did do something really cool here, by the way. So Venom obviously started as a villain. He got his own comic for a while. He was a hero. He kind of goes back and forth between being hero and villain. So in Marvel, we do a lot of typo with hero and villain. So he got to be both a hero and a villain. So your hero deck can play him and your villain deck can play him.
Hero villain.
Well, I promised the fans villains.
Yes.
This delivers a bit. It delivers a bit, but I want to go deep into the villainy of the Spider-Verse. Let's behold the Sinister Six next.
Hay una carta de Sinister Six.
So in the very first annual of Spider-Man, they were trying to come up with what is cooler than Spider-Man fighting a supervillain, and the answer was 6 supervillains.
I love that they jumped right to 6.
Right to 6. And so the Sinister Six has been, a lot of different people have been in the Sinister Six. You'll see in the art, this is the original Sinister Six that appeared in that first Spider-Man.
Wow.
And what better, it's a card that actually references 6 creatures. It reanimates.
Trae 6 de graveyard.
This is in my teaser for those that read my teaser on Spider-Man.
To the battlefield. Y no es a la mano.
Make a deck with a lot of villains.
Esta carta la Commander.
And then bring them back.
And we're going to show you those villains. So we're not just throwing this art up here so that you can imagine what playing with these 6 are going to be like. We're going to show you each of these villains. Now, we are going to start with one you might have already seen because we previously revealed it, but he's also the leader of the original.
The leader of the original, yes.
So let's see Dr. Octopus.
Okay, so we did show this off at San Diego Comic-Con. You'll notice that he helps villains. He's a villain typo card. And that's because he is the leader. He put together the original Sinister Six. Doc, I mean, how can you not do Doc Ock? Doc Ock is such a fun villain. He has a little 8 theme in his card. And obviously, since he controls villains, you want other villains for your deck.
Esta carta.
Let's see. Vulture Scheming Scavenger.
Okay, so this is Adrian Toombs, who is an inventor. Invented himself a pair of wings, started robbing people and robbing banks. He ended up becoming a foe of Spider-Man. Though I will point out, you notice he is hybrid. So we're going to introduce, there's a new draft we're going to talk about a little bit later. And in order to help facilitate that, there's more hybrid in the set. And so you'll see a bunch of hybrid cards today. And that really helps sort of, it helps make the limited work better. So this is a good example of some of the hybrid stuff you'll be seeing.
All right, next up we have one of my favorite villains. We're going to see my favorite villain later in this presentation, but one of my favorite villains in this one, Mysterio, Master of Illusion.
Oh yes,
Mysterio.
So Mysterio, basically his shtick is he makes illusions, and Spider-Man never knows what's real and what's not. So we made a fun design with him where he literally makes illusions. So that, like I said, a lot of the design, it's not hard. It's like, oh, what does he do? And they really sort of, they lend themselves to cool designs.
Yeah, and I love that this one, it scales again with the number of villains you have for your villain deck.
Yeah, you'll notice also as well, the Vulture also had some villain typos. So the villains all work together.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, let's see our next villain. We've got Sandman. With one of the greatest creature type lines we've had in a while, Shifting Scoundrel.
Yes, good old Flint Marco. So he had an accident. He got turned into living sand. He can turn himself into any shape he can think up. And you'll notice, he has a sand creature type. So in Legends back in 1994, there was a card that made Sand Warrior tokens. And we've had sand on a couple tokens, but we've never actually had it on a card before. But Sandman,
los
how can you
artes
not
están
make
bien
Sandman
bonitos.
sand? So for the very first time, we had a sand. This is
Sand
another
elemental villain.
Yeah, this is another card I teased in my teaser that people figured out. So.
All right, 4 of the 6 down. Let's take a look at number 5, Electro Assaulting Battery.
Okay, so Electro harnesses the power of electricity. A shocking villain, if you will. And we did a lot of fun stuff. There's this neat thing where he doesn't lose red mana because we're trying to represent electricity. So he's a very fun card to play.
Flying.
All right, and then my favorite card of this bunch, Craven the Hunter.
Okay, so Craven was a hunter that was so good, he grew bored of hunting. And he goes, I need to hunt more exciting things. And what is the hardest thing to hunt? The most dangerous animal? Man. And so he starts hunting Spider-Man. And you'll see on his card, like he cares about how big the creature is. That really fits in the essence of who Craven is as a character.
Only the biggest game for Craven the Hunter. Now, we're not we've gone through the 6, but we're not quite done with the Sinister 6 because we also wanted to show off a promo card of Behold the Sinister 6. You can see it here. This is a promo card. Mark, why don't you tell the audience how they get this card?
There's 2 ways to get it.
Okay.
One is in the atrium every day, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. There's going to be a photo opportunity, and that you can get it there.
Yep.
The second way to get it is to be sitting in this audience right now. On your way out.
Don't leave without one. We've got this card for everyone in the audience.
Oh, wow.
All right. So, but if you somehow do miss it, again, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, starting at 3:32 in the atrium photo opportunity. Okay. Well, we're not done with Mark, but we're kind of done with him for now. So we're going to let you go. And we are going to bring out Jadine Clumparents. Come on out, Jadine. Come on out. Welcome. All right. Have a seat. All right. So, Jadine, tell us about yourself. Tell us about what Spider-Man means to you, all that jazz.
Yeah, I am Jadine Clumparents. I am the play design lead for Magic, which means I work on cards in like the last 6 months or so, working on the balance and the final numbers. I kind of got to Marvel a little bit later than most of my colleagues. I was introduced to the characters and plot lines for the first time with the movies while I was in college. And then I got to dive so much deeper while working on this set. And I'm really kind of kicking myself for not finding it sooner because honestly, I would have loved this as a teenager. And I'm so excited to get to share some of the mechanics with the set with you today.
Yeah, we're going to talk mechanics in this section. Where would you like to start, JD?
Can you pull up Spider-Man India, please?
That's not Spider-Man India. Let's see.
One more.
Almost.
All right.
India with that web slinging ability.
Yeah, so one of the great things about doing a set all about Spider-Man was getting to make cards for so many different spider heroes and kind of show off the whole breadth of the Spider-Verse. And one of the things we knew we were going to want to do was have a mechanic to represent Spider-Man's webs. As far as superpowers go, the webs of Spider-Man are so unique. Used in so many different ways by Spider-Man, whether it's transportation around the city, rescuing a bystander, or even in combat, kind of restraining the enemy a little bit. And we knew we needed to make a mechanic for this and put on many different spider heroes that would kind of capture all of the different ways that Spider-Man uses the webs. So the web slinging ability is an alternative cast to casting a card. It has a different mana cost, almost always cheaper, and you can use that ability and cast it for that cost if you also return a tapped creature you control to your hand. So you're getting it down early, representing some of that mobility of the webs. And at the same time, you're picking up a creature of yours, using the webs to transport it back to your hand.
Está
It'll
bonito,
be a
mano.
little bit safer, and then you'll be able to reuse it, get any enters abilities it's have, or the set is chock full of different ways to benefit from having more creatures to play. If you take a look at the second line on Spider-Man India, you can see such an effect, a little cast trigger for creature spells that'll benefit you for recasting the thing you just put back in your hand.
Bien brutal.
All right, for our next mechanic, I want to go into the costume closet. Let's pull up the next card.
Costume closet.
Yeah, so costume closet here is featuring the
Oh.
modified mechanic. Modified is a returning mechanic. We've used it before. Creatures you
Puedes
control that are
moverlo.
equipped, enchanted, or have a counter on them
Counters.
are considered modified. And we have cards in the set that benefit you for having creatures. It represents all the different ways in the world of Spider-Man to kind of get a boost from having the right gear or to have some technology aiding you. I really love
Qué
the costume
brutal.
closet here. It's such a great depiction of all of the different suits and just this idea that you can continually get some boosts.
Yeah. All right. We've had two very hero-focused cards in a row, which makes me a little ill. So we're gonna move back to
Hablar de los villanos.
villainy, and in fact, we are going to go with maybe Spider-Man's greatest villain. Let's take a look at Norman Osborn.
Oh,
Yeah, so
wow.
there is a lot on this card. This is one of the
Porque no le han
transforming
puesto
mono double
verde.
face cards that we've brought you before and you've seen. Norman Osborn here, the front side of this card is using the connive mechanic.
Estás
Connive
bien
is another
loco.
one of the returning mechanics in this set.
Déjame ahí,
It is
falta ver la publicidad.
representing the plotting behind the scenes nature of villainy in the Spider-Man world. So, you know, while Peter Parker is out in the world doing civilian stuff,
Déjenme
the
saber si
villain
escucha
out in
bien.
the scene
Si
planning.
quieren
And
que
you
suba
as
el
the
volumen o
player
lo que
will
sea,
be
me
able to
avisan.
plot
Por
some
favor.
too when you're using these villain cards. The connive mechanic allows you and the creature that's performing the action, you draw a card, then discard a card. If you discard a non-land card this way, you'll put a +1/+1 counter on the creature. So you as the player
Oh.
are going to sculpt your hand, get your plans in motion and ready for next. And at the same time, the creatures that are conniving are going to find themselves a little bit stronger as things go on.
Well, and before we see the backside of this card, which I guarantee you can guess what the name of it is, this isn't the art section, but I have to point out I love this art. I love seeing the Green Goblin in Norman Osborn's reflection there as another aspect of his personality.
Bien
And of course, it
cabrón.
signals what the backside looks like. So let's take a look at Green Goblin.
Here is the Green Goblin. The
Oh.
time for planning is over. It is now time for chaos in the
Tiene
city,
menace
represented with the
flying.
mayhem mechanic. So when the villains are out wrecking havoc on the city, we're representing that form of villainy with the mayhem mechanic, which is new for the Spider-Man set. It is another alternative way to play a card. Cards with the Mayhem ability, while they are in your graveyard, if you discarded them this turn, you may cast them for their Mayhem cost. So Green Goblin here is granting the Mayhem ability to all the cards in your graveyard. Other cards in the set just have the Mayhem ability themselves. And those will often have a lower mana cost on the Mayhem ability than the actual cost to cast the card. So Green Goblin and Norman Osborn here is a really complete package. You can play the Norman Osborn half, get in a few times, connive, and then eventually you'll find a card you discarded that you actually want to cast. And after you attack that turn, you can transform to the Green Goblin, give that card you just discarded the Mayhem ability, and put it back into play.
Wow.
Very cool. It was really awesome to see us find a way to tie both of the villain mechanics together on this card, and the whole package turned out awesome.
Well, yeah, I love the story it tells. Norman Osborn schemes and connives on one side, and then the Green Goblin takes advantage of the mayhem caused by those schemes on the other. It's absolutely perfect. I love it. All right, those are the mechanics we're talking about now, which means, J. Dean, I'm going to swap you for Corey. Let's bring out Corey Bowen, everyone. Come on out, Corey. All right, welcome.
Thank you.
All right,
No
Corey,
me
you know the drill
saludas,
by
no sean la
now. Tell us
mano.
a bit about yourself and your love of Spider-Man.
Great. Well, thanks for having me, Blake. I'm Corey Bowen. I'm the lead set designer on Magic the
Qué
Gathering
cool la
Marvel
polo de
Spider-Man,
él.
and I'm so excited to be here. as for Spider-Man, my experience, I was only like 6 years old when the first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie came out.
Which is how Corey makes me feel old. But
yes.
continue.
But I just grew up with those Spider-Man movies. All of
Yo
the
estaba
Spider-Man
en
movies
11.
Really shaped what I love about
En
superheroes.
11,
And
en
even
11
when I
yo
was
creo,
young,
sí.
I remember going to Free Comic Book Day and walking back home with 3 different Spider-Man comics from different Spider-Man runs. Very, very cool.
Yeah. So Corey, you're here because we're going to talk about a new draft format being introduced with this set called Pick 2 Draft.
Pick
So
Two.
give us the overview.
Right. So Pick 2 Draft is a brand new way that we have to draft. We announced it earlier this year. It's got two main differences from a normal, typical draft. The first difference is that you're picking 2 cards every pick. This makes it faster, more fluid, a little bit more speedy and casual. The second difference is you get to only draft with 4 players instead of 8. So it's so much more accessible, so much easier to get a pot of 4 people together rather than a pot of 8 people together.
Sí.
And for Spider-Man, this is a set that's designed and optimized specifically to make that draft environment work with all of its little idiosyncrasies.
Okay, so
Okay.
like we all have yelled, 7 in the queue before. That's now 3 in the queue. Little easier to get going.
Easier.
But let's talk about what that means for the archetypes. You said there's 5 archetypes. Let's go through each of them.
Yeah.
I would like to start with green-white, please.
Sure. Well, green-white is an archetype where you're going to find all of your spider heroes within the Spider-Man
Paloma.
universe. This is where the web slinging mechanic really comes into play. This deck is all about using web slinging, and you can play this deck so many different ways. You can tempo out certain powerful spider heroes. You can collect a bunch of spider heroes and play some cards that buff up all of your spiders. Or you can even assemble a strange combo deck that exists within this set where you're constantly getting value out of flipping your creatures back and forth from the battlefield in your hands.
Yeah.
And here we have City Pigeon. I
was going to say, you were
card.
talking like there wasn't a City Pigeon up on the screen
Yes.
that we all needed to discuss.
I mean, I said we have to show City Pigeon.
We have to show City Pigeon.
Like, this is a good example. Like, Spider-Man has a setting, right? You see him in all these spider stories in New York very often, and we wanted to bring the tone of the sets and bring it to a New York City setting with a whimsical tone with something like City Pigeon. I stand by that this card is one of the best commons in the set because it's so powerful as a pigeon. I mean, really, it's just a good enabler for web slinging. You can attack with this evasive creature. It gets tapped very easily, and very early on, you have something great to web sling back into your hand, and it makes a hot dog on the way out, which is perfect.
All right. We're not showing the food token today. We'll get to those.
A hot dog.
God, we got to give the people what we want. All right. Next up, though, we are going to talk about the white-blue archetype.
Okay.
What's going on with white-blue?
Right, so white-blue, it uses the modified mechanic that we talked about earlier. Again, a returning mechanic. This really is where all of like the characters who are scientifically modified or are geniuses, or we have Spider piloted by Penny here. She has this mecha suit, and it's like this is an attachment that helps make her a super formidable superhero. And we have the spider suit here as well. We had to make an equipment that was the spider suit.
Yeah.
So, the spider suit, it's a great thing to equip onto your City Pigeon.
Absolutely. A
City
City Pigeon with a spider suit.
Yes. City Pigeon, underrated, very strong in this archetype as well. You got to put everything on your City Pigeon and just start defeating opponents.
Absolutely. All right. New achievement that I need to unlock. All right. Next up, let's talk about blue-black.
Yes. Blue-black, this is where the rogues gallery of Spider-Man's
Prowler
cast of villains come into play. This is more of a graveyard deck. You're getting some graveyard value. You're plotting from behind the scenes. You're using Connive to sculpt the perfect hand to thwart Spider-Man. There's also a lot of villain matters in this archetype as well. You can see on this Prowler here, and when a villain enters, Prowler gets to Connive. These cards work really well with some of the Mayhem cards you'll find in the set as well, because Connive and Mayhem just naturally work well together.
Right.
And Connive, you get to put counters on creatures to, benefit your modified rewards as well. So everything works really well together, and that was a really important part about getting the Pick 2 draft format to be very smooth.
Yep. All right. Next, let's go to red-green.
Right. So every Magic set needs a place to put its big
Rhino.
stuff. And here we have Rhino,
Spider-Rex.
7-drop, and we have Spider-Rex from one of the more recent Spider-Verse series.
Yeah, and also, if you haven't been reading the flavor text along the way, this is a great place to remind you, check out the flavor text. especially for Spider Rex, but it's been fantastic in all regards. Anyway, continue on.
This deck really wants to play large spells. It has a theme about caring about mana value 4 or greater.
Okay.
And with web slinging and mayhem as cost reduction mechanics, you're going to be able to cast spells with mana value 4 or greater without spending 4 mana turn to turn. So this deck really puts those things together and lets us put a dinosaur that's Spider-Man in the set, which is just awesome.
You got it. All right. Speaking of mayhem, let's take a look at our last draft archetype, which is black red.
Red.
This is a
Green Goblin.
Again, mayhem. It's a very discard focused archetype. There's so many awesome iterations of Green Goblin or Hobgoblin or different Goblin adjacent characters. We really wanted to show off more of the chaotic, reckless villains in Spider-Man, and we thought discarding cards and playing them from your graveyard felt very resonant in that. So we used the Mayhem mechanic, a new mechanic that harkens that back to an older Magic mechanic, Madness, but it's a lot easier to play with. Here we have Green Goblin, fantastic if you're discarding multiple cards in a turn, and Raging Goblinoids is the perfect example of an overcosted creature that you can get out for cheap if you have a great way to discard cards.
Okay.
Well, and earlier we showed the OG Green Goblin, Norman Osborn. Here we've got Harry. There is another Green Goblin we want to show off at this point for a very specific reason. Let's put Ultimate Green Goblin up here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so this is a promo. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But first, talk about this card in the Mayhem archetype.
Yeah, Ultimate Green Goblin. This is a Green Goblin from the Ultimate Universe where he is a big hulking goblin. This is one of our favorite Mayhem cards in this set.
Yeah,
it's a very powerful Mayhem card. It's also a hybrid rare, which will be in this set as well. We're kind of using hybrid at all rarities to really help that pick 2 draft format. But this card's great. It's an overcosted creature. It lets you discard a card every turn to make a treasure, but this also lets you achieve your Mayhem turn for turn. And if you already have a Mayhem engine, you could cast this for Mayhem and get some card advantage. So we've had a lot of fun playing this card, and we hope everyone else is going to too.
Yeah. And we're going to show the main set version of this one later, but this promo specifically is going to be available at an event called Magic Presents Friendly Neighborhood Draft. That's going to be taking place at your local WPN stores September 26th through November 13th. So check with them when they're running it. It's going to be the first official opportunity to play the Pick 2 draft format in stores. All you have to do to get this card is go undefeated at one of those events. That's all. Just don't lose ever.
Wow.
You pick the pigeon. You will then receive a traditional foil of this Ultimate Green Goblin promo card while supplies last. All right. Thank you, Corey. I'm going to send you on your way again. We're going to bring back out Mark Rosewater again, but we are also going to bring out Sarah Wassel. Come on out. All right. Mark, welcome back. Sarah, welcome. Mark, we've already heard from you. Good. But Sarah, why don't you introduce yourself as well?
Cool. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah Wassel. I'm a senior art director at Magic.
Me encanta la
primarily on the collectability team. So we riff and improvise and make alternate versions of the main set cards, looking ones. Yes. We don't change any of their stuff. I'm really excited to be here to talk about Marvel, to talk about Spider-Man. I love comic book art. I love how accessible it's been. I love any kind of art that people can get in their hands right away. And this set in particular, we have some vintage stuff in the set, and it's unbelievable.
Yeah, this set is really exciting for comic book fans.
Yeah.
So we're also going to talk in this section about reprints, about the bonus sheet specifically.
Okay.
So Mark, what's going on with the bonus sheet in this set?
Okay, so one of the things that Magic has always done is we have really amazing art. From the very beginning, we've really valued being the forefront of amazing art. But one of the things about partnering with people is Marvel is also known for having really amazing art. And so how could we get the amazing Marvel art that people love onto Magic cards? And so the idea is we have a bonus sheet where we took famous reprints and put Marvel art on them, original Marvel art. When I say original, I mean from the comics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have 7 cards we're going to show you in this section. They're all reprints, all in the bonus sheet, all with this fantastic art. We're going to play a little game, a little audience participation here. We're going to put up the art first. Sarah's going to talk a little bit about it, and then I want to hear some guesses for what card you think it is. So let's put our first image up on the screen. Sarah, tell us about this.
Oh.
This is a big deal. This is the first time that Spider-Man showed up as a character in comic books. This was Amazing Fantasy number 15 in 1962. So this was the cover that said "Introducing Spider-Man," and this was from the interior of the book. The character was designed by Steve Ditko, who's like a giant of the industry, but the cover was actually penciled by Jack Kirby.
Yeah, like we're gonna have an artist line that says Ditko and Kirby, which is just insane.
On a magic
Oh
card.
wow!
On a magic
hold
card.
in your hand. Yeah.
All right, it may take you a couple to get into this, but let's hear some guesses. What do we think this card is? I heard it over here. All right, let's see it. Put it up on the screen.
Ooh.
Yeah, one of the things I want to point out.
Intervention.
This very first comic, one of the things Stan Lee did when he made Spider-Man was at the time superheroes were kind of larger than life. And the idea was making a superhero that was like an everyday guy, like he had trouble paying the rent or getting dates, like, and that really at the time was kind of controversial, but was a huge hit. And the idea of making like relatable superheroes, this was the real start of that.
Yeah. Next up, next piece of art up on the screen.
Okay, I hope you can guess this. This is one of my favorite pairings with the
Oh.
it's emotionally very devastating. So this was from 1967, so we're moving forward in time a little bit. So at this point now the comic book is called Amazing Spider-Man. We went from not having the character being started to now having his own book name. And at this point he's being drawn by John Romita Sr., who was the second in line of Spider-Man artists. One of the cool things about Romita Sr. is that he had kind of a background in romance comics. So he was really good in particular at making the female characters in the Spider-Man universe really like attractive and stylish and beautiful and compelling. So he really like amped up that part of the story a lot.
All right, let's hear some guesses for this one.
I heard it.
You heard it?
I heard it.
Okay, let's throw up Path to Exile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is from a run called Spider-Man No More, where Peter Parker, it gets to him. There's so much, like, it's so hard being Spider-Man that he walks away from being Spider-Man.
All right, this next one, I'm gonna be really impressed if anyone guesses it. It's fantastic, but it's a little bit more obscure than Path to Exile.
Yeah.
Let's hear from.
Oh wow!
This is gonna be a tough one. You're right. Yeah. But this is from Amazing Spider-Man number 55 in 1967. That's John Romita Sr. again. I, in particular, have always loved Doc Ock's original haircut. I know that haircut was like, I think for people in the 60s, they would have been like, oh, he's a nerd, right? Like that was like a visual indication of that. But this is such a great, like super, super close-up dynamic shot of Doc Ock.
All right, I want to hear some guesses on this one. I don't think I heard it, so let's see. Lorthos the Tidemaker, also known as Doc Ock, armed and dangerous.
So one of the things we talked about this at San Diego Comic-Con, we were very careful when we choose creature types. So Dr. Octopus is not actually an octopus, so we did not make him creature type octopus. But we couldn't pass the opportunity to make an octopus that is Dr. Octopus. Yeah.
All right, for this next one, which is going to be a layup, guys. We're going to keep the John Romita Sr. train going with this piece of art.
Wow.
Everyone's got to
Tell us about this one, Sarah.
Well, I do know that that's not electricity.
Yes, that's not electricity.
Yeah. Yeah. But what's this guy's name, Mark? You want to give them a hint?
Well, his name is the Shocker.
Shock, there you go. All right. Yeah, every game has a free space.
When we first started working on Spider-Man, there were a couple like low-hanging things. One was, okay, you got to make a J. Jonah Jameson that references Menace. And the other one was, we have to have a shocker with shock.
Yeah.
So.
All right, next up, this is one of my favorite pieces in the set. I know I say that a lot, but this one hits hard, it resonates, it really feels good on the card. So let's throw the next piece of art up on the screen. Tell us about
wow.
So cool.
Well, spoiler alert.
Oh my God. At this
point, I think we're in the dark ages of comics. This is penciled by Mike Zeck and colored by Bob McLeod. And the book is Web of Spider-Man 32. And yeah, somebody already called it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's reanimate. It's
The
Wow.
loose text basically reads like a description of the art. It's incredible.
So this is from a storyline called Craven's Last Hunt, where Craven buries Spider-Man, and spoiler, he's not dead. But anyway, this is a really famous shot. So the fact that we got to use this on Reanimated.
Yep. No, it's perfect.
Ya los
Perfect.
artes
All right.
están.
Next up, let's see. This was a what? This was Craven's Last Hunt. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. So one of the things we did was we made a cycle of sagas.
Yeah.
And that one of the sagas which we showed at San Diego Comic-Con was Craven's Last Hunt.
Sí.
And the idea is there's so many great storylines. Sagas represent stories, and that just seemed like the perfect marriage.
Yeah.
You want to talk about the thing next to it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's we also knew from really early on working on this set, we have really like baby brainstorms at the very, very, very beginning.
Como si fueran los cómics.
And we knew as a studio that we really wanted to try to figure out how to make magic cards look like comic book pages. And sagas were like this perfect marriage of like giving us that graphic opportunity. But as simple as this looks and as well as it's working, it did actually take a lot of work to kind of like tinker with it to get it to come out well.
Claro.
And the artists that we worked with here, Linnell Francis Yu and Sunny Go, both work for Marvel, have been for a long time, and they're just so good at using color and shadow to really like delineate those spaces really clearly.
And each comic panel represents a different part of the story. It's very cool.
And we'll have another saga we're going to show off later.
Qué brutal.
All right, we've got 2 more of these left in our little game. Let's throw. In my youth, this was like the comic book.
Wow.
Yeah, so
McFarlane.
This is Todd McFarlane drawing Spider-Man, and this was like a big moment in the character's design and the design of the webbing even. So Todd McFarlane, he kind of took like a little bit from Steve Ditko from the beginning, where he really like used Spidey's body in really like arachnid kind of ways and really like emphasized that strange physiognomy of what he's like doing as this Spider-Man. He also made the eyes really, really big.
Qué brutal.
And that webbing design in particular is something that's been really iconic and has stuck with the character.
All right, let's hear guesses on this one. Yes!
Oh!
There you go. Nice. That is impressive.
One of the things we were trying to do is cover a lot of different eras. This is a really fun era of Spider-Man where they get into like the mythos of what it means, the spider totem, and like, was the spider an accident or was it always destined to bite him? And so this is a really fun storyline.
Yeah. All right, for our final one, we're actually moving forward in time quite a bit to something a little bit more recent. So let's throw the next piece of art up there.
Oh.
One of my favorite character designs of all time. Venom is just the combination of like total gnarly fear and absolute glee with this character constantly like exudes. It's just like
el arte de esta colección va a estar muy cabrón.
In my brain. But this one was 2021. Ryan Stegman was the artist here, and JP Meyer, and then Frank Martin did the colors. And what could it be?
What do we think this one is?
He has wings.
Ooh.
I don't think I've heard it, but let's throw it up there.
Yeah.
Also known as Venom King in Black.
Yeah, the idea of making a venomous Venom seems too cool to pass up on.
All right. Now, these are the only one. This is the last one we've shown for today. But, Sarah, there are going to be more classic comic book artists included in this.
Yeah,
correct?
there are more of these. And we have names on Magic cards crediting the art like Mark Bagley, Mobius, Eric Larson, Sarah Pacelli. There's just like chock full of these amazing pieces in the set.
If you are a fan of Spider-Man artists, like we've got them in spades. All right. Okay, so people are going to want those bonus cards for sure. But we have a range of collectible and cool designs that we've done to create really cool cards. Why don't you walk us through kind of the new and shiny here?
Sure, yeah. Okay, so we are going to start by looking at one of the most powerful objects in this universe.
One of 6.
I said one of. The Soul Stone.
Diablo.
So you have 3 beautiful versions to pick from. I'm sure you'll pull all 3 of them. The one on the far left is painted by Vulcan Baga, and he mimicked his his original like Mox compositions, right? So we're really like Magic and Marvel like together, chocolate and peanut butter in a beautiful way. The in-betweener is the one holding that soul stone who has like a super sweet color block outfit. And then in the middle, we have our gauntlet version. So you get Thanos, you get comic style, you get that sweet Marvel
Qué
art.
brutal.
And then on the far right, the most rare, the most precious. This is the Soul Stone, like in the cosmos, and that card has been tricked out with so many print techniques and
Qué
fancy things
hermosa.
that it will feel just as precious.
Yeah,
as
this
the
does
stone
this
itself.
doesn't do it justice. Yeah. So if you're familiar with our headliner program, this is the headliner for this set. This is the only Infinity Stone in this set.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, we can say that.
Oh.
All right.
And before we're done, we will do all the Infinity Stones.
What else do we have, Sarah?
Okay, so another thing that we've done with original comic art, in addition to the bonus sheet examples that you were seeing, is that we are doing classic cover cards where we're taking an original comic book cover and we are turning it into a magic card.
Yeah.
So on
Oh.
the front side of the card, you've got Peter Parker and Eddie Brock, and that's Peter Parker the first time that he was ever bit by a Spider-Man ever in any universe. That's the art from that moment. He is a teenager at this time in his like depictions, which I find fascinating that in the 60s this is what a teenager looked like.
Uh-huh.
But then so we've taken the actual comic books with their original wording and everything, but we've replaced the text with magic rules text. So you get a miniature comic book cover to put in your deck. It's really cool.
Qué brutal.
All right, let's see the next one, the web frame.
Yeah, so here's a custom frame that we designed for this set. This is the web frame, and our in-house designer, Dalton Pencarina, really based the webbing on the frame on Todd McFarlane's design. It's really like detailed and really like gnarly.
Qué cool.
We really envisioned this frame, like as if the magic frame was an in-world object, and Spidey is like attaching to it and swinging along and going around. I wanted to call it the sticky frame, but no one.
Marketing
Listened to
overruled
me.
her. Yeah, that's a different department.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we have, Sarah?
Yeah, and so then we have some showcase panel frames. So these are related to that saga we saw before. This was another thing we knew from the beginning that we really wanted to
Qué
do,
brutal. Qué
is
lindo se
try to
ve.
show comic grids on magic cards as magic art. Comic grids are such an important part of storytelling, both utilizing them and obviously breaking them, right? Those are the exciting moments when the characters like pop out and go over those lines. So again, we were really lucky to work with a lot of current Marvel artists who are experts with this stuff. And so these are just, 4 examples. I'm a big fan of that Venom half face, half, so gross.
All right, I got another pop quiz for the audience before we move on to the next card. So we said we were going to reveal another saga. If you're a Spider-Man fan and you hear the word saga, where does your mind go? Like in unison. Perfect. All right, let's see the Clone Saga.
Oh.
Yeah, so here's the main set version. We saw Bill Sinkovitz's art on the Craven Last Hunt saga as well. Bill Sinkovitz was a really important artist in the 1980s in comic books. He was one of the first people in the mainstream comic world to use collage and mimeograph and photorealism and really like play with the art style in a way that nobody had really done before. And he also illustrated magic cards like way back in the beginning.
In antiquity, in Alliances.
Yeah, so it's really exciting to get him back in for this set. Like another one of those perfect moments of things kind of all coming together.
And we have showcase panel versions of this.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, in the main picture, the bad guy is cloned Spider-Man. The Jackal is cloned Spider-Man. And this is one of my all-time favorite moments in Spider-Man, where we're following Peter Parker as he's trying to figure out all the clones. And then we realize that he is a clone. It was a very, for the Spider-Man readers, that's one of my favorite moments. And we did know, by the way, when we started making the set and we decided to do sagas, it was a given that we were doing the Clone Saga, because there's no way in the world we're doing sagas and not doing the Clone Saga.
How could we let you all down? You all knew we had to.
People have bugged me about this online, like, you better be doing the Clone Saga.
We did. Another thing we did in the collectibility space is, of course, this is the Spider-Man set. We had to focus on Spider-Man.
Yep.
And so let's start showing this video that runs through. Okay, we've got spectacular Spider-Man in the
Yeah.
black suit. And
Oh.
This whole idea
Oh,
gave us a couple of fun
wow.
things to do. One was use a bunch of Spider-Mans that weren't in the set.
Yep.
And another is to make
And
like
some of which are on the set.
and some of which are in the set, and to also riff on the idea of like variant covers that comic books do that people get
Wow,
really excited about.
van a
Right?
haber un
there's
montón de
8
variantes.
different-
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're going to come back to each one of
yeah,
these.
there's 8 different versions of these. They're all drawn by the same artist, Roberta Invernatta, who totally like knocked it out of the park.
All right. Well, let's go through these one by one. So let's move to the spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I was saying, Roberta really understood what we were looking for here because the pose is really important. Knowing we were going to riff it 8 times, we needed the logo on the costume to be really, really visible because they changed from suit to suit. We needed the webbing to be visible, and then we had the same background and the same setting for each card. But the art director working on this project, Aliana Rude, had this amazing idea to change the time of day and the time of year for the background so that the colors could shift card to card even just a little bit more and really like set off the suit colors on each variant.
Yeah, we're going to see that as we go through, including on our next one, which Mark, I know is one of your favorites. Which
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
look
I
at
think this
that.
is one of my favorites. So one of the things that's real fun as a Spider-Man fan is just there's so many great moments. So Secret Wars was an event that happened many years ago. This character called the Beyonder took a whole bunch of heroes and villains and took them to fight each other.
Eso
But
lo vamos
while
a
they
ver ya
were
mismo en las
there,
películas.
Spider-Man got this black suit. And then for quite a while, he wore the black suit, and then something was weird going on, so he decided to go get it checked out by Reed Richards. And then Reed Richards like, it's alive. And I remember that just blew my mind. So the suit would turn into Venom. That's where Venom came from, that he was alive. And the fact that Spider-Man rejected him is what made Venom now got angry at Spider-Man.
Yeah. All right, next up we have Spider Armor Mark 1.
Beautiful.
Ya,
The
la.
disco suit.
Qué
In
hermosa,
springtime, I love the
mano.
juxtaposition of the delicate flower petals with the shiny bulletproof armor.
Next up, a personal favorite of mine is the stealth suit.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. This one's at night, right? Which is a great way to, if night is in New York City, which is a bright time in New York still, it's a great way to set off the colors of that black suit.
All right, and then we have the sensational suit.
Clone Ben Reilly looking very, very cool. That Spidey logo going all the way down. The half-color boots. Big fan of that.
And then we start getting a little weird with the 6 arms.
Right? The grossest one of the set, clearly.
Don't take random serums.
Yep.
He should have known that by now.
Mark, these last 2, I'm going to let you take these last 2.
Oh, sure. So apparently all my stories involve the Fantastic Four. So there's a period in time where Johnny Storm died, although spoilers, he didn't. But Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four. And while he was in the Fantastic Four, they made a special suit called the Future Foundation suit, which was his white suit, which I always really liked, and it matched the rest of the Fantastic Four had white suits as well. But anyway, I've always liked this suit. It's one of my favorite suits.
¿Y el otro?
And then the audience's favorite.
So after they find out that his suit is Venom, he can't wear it because it's Venom. And so he has to borrow stuff from the Fantastic Four to get home, and he puts a bag on his head. And they refer to it as the bombastic bagman suit. And so, anyway, it's fun. How do we not do the bombastic bagman?
It's also the most unrealistic one because his feet are bare and clean, which is impossible if he's running around the rooftops in New York City.
We knew you'd like this one. And so while we're talking about collectability, we've got something to share that we're really excited about. Let's put this up on the screen. We've got a comic to give away with an exclusive cover featuring Bagman.
Oh,
How
wow.
can people get this comic?
There are 2 ways to get this.
Again.
The first is you can go to our booth.
Yep.
And while supplies last, you can get one at the Wizard of the Coast booth in the Arch.
Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
Saturday,
so not
Sunday, Monday.
today. Yep.
Oh
yep.
my God.
And also while you're there, you can get a
Welcome deck.
welcome deck for Spider-Man.
Oh.
The second way to get it is, of course, to be right here. So when you leave, there's both the card and the comic. So.
Absolutely. We're glad you're here.
Qué brutal.
All right. So let's hear a little bit. Who is excited for this set from what we've seen so far? That's what I like to hear. Okay.
El arte está brutal.
We're going to tell you how to enjoy it. We're going to tell you when to enjoy it. So
Yes.
we're going to throw some dates up on the screen. Mark your calendars. The Magic the Gathering Marvel Spider-Man debut it's today. It's right now. You're here. You're watching it. That's this
Los
thing.
previews comienzan la semana que viene.
Previews start next week. We're going to do them all week. We're going to have the full card image gallery. That's going to be the full set. Is going to be revealed on dailymtg.com again throughout the week and on September 5th.
Wow.
Previews are going to be available around the internet
Como
at
era lo
news
de
outlets
Pulgón
with your favorite
para
creators.
Arena.
There's an article called Where to Find Marvel's Spider-Man Previews on dailymtg.com. That'll let you know where all of those are going to show up. Or you can just wait till the 5th and take in the whole thing. Next, we have a slew of cool events. First up, so at your local WPN game store, pre-release events are going to be taking place September 19th through 25th. And if you happen to live near a Disney store retail location in Times Square, London, Disney World, Florida, or Disneyland, California, or if you want to make a trip, there's going to be a special launch event at those locations on September 19th.
Wow.
Going to be very cool, something we've never done before. Really excited for those. And then the global release, everywhere you can buy Magic, you're going to be able to pick up this set on September 26th. But it doesn't end there. Because we are celebrating this set with a number of events. So Magic Academy, for those who don't know, is a great way to learn how to play Magic. So if you're one of those folks in the audience or watching at home who's really who loves Spider-Man, huge fan of Spider-Man, but you've never tried Magic before, check with the local game store when they are running these Academy events. They're going to be taking place September 26th through November 13th. Great way to learn. And then, of course, we are going to be at MagicCon Atlanta. Yeah, I'm going to be there. We're going to be there. We're all going to be there. September 26th through 28th. If you've never been to a MagicCon, they're amazing. It's people playing Magic everywhere, and Marvel Spider-Man is going to be all over that. If you're looking to play in a standard event, we have 2 spotlights, Magic Spotlights. So these are large, in this case, standard tournaments. They're taking place in Baltimore and Liverpool, October 24th through 26th for Baltimore, and October 31st through November 2nd in Liverpool. And finally, intended a little bit, Spider-Man The Final Battle, happening November 1st through 9th, is a new event. So this is for aimed at our competitive players. These are running November 1 through 9 in WPN store. So check with your local game store. It's going to be a standard constructed event. And it's going to have the winner of the event is going to receive a special variant cover copy of the Amazing Spider-Man #1, 2025.
Oh my God.
And we're going to reveal what that comic looks like later this week. Again, head to dailymtg.com. Look for an article titled Where to Play Marvel Spider-Man. That's going to show off what that comic looks like.
Wow.
Look for The Final Battle at a local game store near you. We are almost done, but I didn't say we were done with reveals because we're not. We've got a secret to share with you, a secret layer. We use that all the time.
Secret layer.
Using it. Yeah. So let's take a look. And Sarah, why don't you tell us what we are looking at here?
So this is the only place we did this in the set.
Not in the set.
Well, in the secret.
In the secret layer.
In the secret layer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. We made a series of cards that look like front covers of the Daily Bugle. Yeah. Which I love when we do this, when we try to make a
wow.
The trompe l'oeil of it is so much fun. So each card is the headline is the title of the card, and there's all these like fun little like Easter eggs all over the place of like different text, as well as the type line gets moved around to like mimic like supporting headlines and stuff. And yeah, we're really super psyched about these. Another thing that happened though is when we made these, we realized that throughout Marvel's history, the Daily Bugle has looked different the newspaper itself has looked different based on which artist was drawing it. And we realized even within the Magic set, we had it looking different. So once we created this set, we kind of retconned our own art to make it all look like this. So there was continuity through the set.
Oh, so in the main set, when you see the Daily Bugle in art, it's going to look like
it's gonna look like
Very
this.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. So these, they come in foil or in non-foil, and they are available as part of the Marvel Spider-Man Super Drop.
Yeah, so there are going to be more drops in that super drop.
Mhm.
If you want to know more details about this one, about that entire super drop, head to magicsecretlair.com and make sure you sign up for notifications. All right, that is it. That is all the reveals we have. So thank you, friends, for joining us today. You've been a fantastic audience. Really appreciate you all. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you to Mark and Sarah, and back behind the curtain to Corey and Jadine. I've been your host, Blake Rasmussen. Make sure on your way out, get your comic, get your promo card.
Yes.
You deserve it for being an amazing audience. Thank you. Have an amazing, spectacular, and sensational day. There we go. Thank you.
A pack. Qué brutal. Mano, en verdad que estuvo súper bueno. Me gustó un montón. Me gustó un montón lo que vi, siendo bien sincero. El arte de las tarjetas está espectacular. Ese Secret Lair, ¡ay, Dios mío! Corillo, Magic es un hobby tan caro. Y obviamente no tengo que comprarla, pero es que uno quiere comprarla. Pero en verdad que estuvo bien brutal. Yo voy a estar en Magic con Atlanta nuevamente de 26 al 28 de septiembre. Voy a estar también ese 19 de septiembre, ese viernes, en el pre-release que va a ser en Titan Games. Va a estar ahí también. Me vi también Conan y parte del corillo. Así que nada, nos veremos por ahí. Yo me le meto mucho a Magic y lo bien interesante de esto es que el deck de Spider-Man no va a estar disponible en Arena, que es donde más yo juego. En Arena va a ser algo llamado To the Omen Path y va a ser básicamente las mismas cartas, con el mismo poder y toda la cosa, pero con distinto arte y distinto nombre. So, hay que ver cómo van a hacer eso. Así que nada, pendiente a eso. De seguro después yo saqué más contenido de la colección y toda la cosa. Esto fue así de la baqueta de la nada. Por mi gente, que tengan un excelente fin de semana. Gracias por estar acá hoy. Y en verdad que, ay, Dios mío. Nada, corillo, nos vemos en la próxima. Que tengan un buen fin de semana. Recuerden que ya pueden conseguir nuestro episodio de Cultura, ya está disponible en lo que es este formato de podcast. También está en YouTube. Esto yo lo voy a subir también como un episodio de Quién va en los proveedores de podcast. Así que nos veremos por ahí, mi gente. Que tengan un excelente fin de semana. Yo voy a estar mañana y el domingo en Secuencial. El domingo también es el concierto del NCU de la gente de Comic Con en Coca-Cola Music Hall. So, este weekend hay un montón de cosas que hacer si eres un geek. Así que nada, mi gente, buen fin de semana. Te llamo. Gracias.